Let's get one thing straight, this isn't just a court case. It's about the emotional wreckage left behind when one of the biggest names in music gets pulled into something no lawyer or PR team can silence. For more than a decade, Rymir Satterthwaite has been fighting to prove one thing, that Jay-Z is his father. But now, it's no longer a quiet battle. The court has officially given him the green light for a paternity test, and this time, Jay-Z has to respond. No more ducking, no more delays. The deadline is July 18th, and the internet is watching like vultures circling. Let's rewind. Rymir's mother, Wanda, claimed she had a brief affair with Jay-Z when she was just 15 and he was 22. A few months later, she gave birth to Rymir. She never saw Jay-Z again. Instead, when she reconnected with a high school boyfriend, she put his name, Robert, on the birth certificate. But years later, Robert took a DNA test. He wasn't the father. Jay-Z, however, never submitted to one. Back in 2010, courts ordered him to take the test. He ignored it. The case was thrown out. Rymir tried again in New Jersey, but Jay-Z's legal team fought it every step of the way. Jay-Z's lawyers pushed back hard, arguing he didn't live or do business in New Jersey. But the deeper Rymir's team dug, the more evidence piled up showing that Jay-Z did, in fact, have ties to the state. Still, it wasn't enough. The judge tossed the case again. That became the pattern. Every time Rymir came close to forcing the issue, Jay-Z's legal team found a way to stall, delay, or deflect. But now, things are different. With backing from organizations like the NAACP and the ACLU, Rymir has taken his fight all the way to the New Jersey Supreme Court. And this time, the judge ruled in his favor, ordering Jay-Z to respond. And it doesn't stop there. Rymir is demanding that all sealed court documents dating back to 2012 be opened. Suddenly, the tension around the Carter empire feels suffocating. This isn't some TikTok rumor. Rymir isn't clout chasing. He's been steady, consistent, almost painfully so in every interview he's given. He doesn't want money. He doesn't want fame. He wants the truth. And that's what makes this story sting. Because if he's lying, he's carried it on for more than a decade with nothing to gain. But if he's telling the truth, if Jay-Z really is his father, then the fallout could shake the very foundation of the Carter family's image. And Beyoncé. She's caught in the storm, too. Reports say she's been blindsided by the latest court developments. She's been working on a tell-all memoir for over 10 years, but now? Sources claim she's hit pause, reconsidering everything she was about to reveal. Forgiving than any courtroom. Because here's the truth. Legal loopholes can stall, lawyers can deflect, but public opinion? That spreads like wildfire. And right now, the smoke is everywhere. If Beyoncé really has hit pause on her memoir, it signals just how serious this is. The Carters are masters of narrative, but suddenly, the story is being written for them by the courts, by the media, and by millions of fans watching in real time. Rymir isn't a celebrity. He doesn't have a label, a brand, or a billion-dollar empire to protect. What he has is persistence, and that persistence just cracked open one of the most carefully protected images in modern music history. So what happens next? Jay-Z has until July 18th to comply with the court order. If he submits the test and it proves him to be the father, everything changes. If he refuses, that silence may speak louder than any lyric he's ever written. And in the end, this isn't just about Jay-Z. It's about what happens when truth collides with power. When control slips through the cracks. When even legends are forced to face the one thing they can't outmaneuver, reality. Forgiving than any judge. And the wildest part. Rymir has already been painted in every light possible. To some, he's a clout chaser. To others, he's brave. But when you actually listen to him, there's a strange calmness in the way he speaks. He's not angry, he's exhausted. Exhausted from the silence, the blocks, the closed doors. Over 10 years. All for one thing. Not millions. Not handouts. Just a DNA test. That's what keeps the public hooked. Because this isn't scandal for the sake of drama, it's persistence, it's humanity, it's a man asking for the truth. And then comes the elephant in the room. Rymir's mom was 15. Jay-Z was in his 20s. The legal implications of that alone are nuclear. Probably the main reason Jay has dodged this story like the plague. Because if the test confirms paternity, suddenly this isn't just about parental rights. It's about statutory issues, moral character, and a dark past crashing into the spotlight. And no Super Bowl stage, no Grammy legacy, can shield him from that kind of fallout. Some say that's exactly why Jay tried settling it quietly years ago. Word is, His team offered money, hush deals. But Rymir's aunt. She allegedly turned them down. And she didn't just say no. She brought receipts, paperwork, names, details far too messy to sweep under a rug. That's when things turned ugly. Gag orders. Countersuits. A legal maze designed to break down anyone without a megastar's bank account. But Rymir kept going. Even after his mother passed from a heart attack, he didn't stop. Because her final words to him were clear: "That's your father." Now the court has ordered Jay-Z to respond. This isn't speculation anymore. It's a deadline. A collision course. And the hip-hop world. Oh, they're watching too. 50 Cent, never one to hold back, went straight for the jugular. "This your last Super Bowl, bro, game over." He posted it for the whole world to see. Nuclear drop in this saga. Not just a memoir anymore, but a weapon. A counter-strike. Beyoncé has spent her entire career mastering silence and turning pain into art, but this time, silence might not be enough. Because this isn't just about Jay-Z dodging a DNA test. This is about the cracks showing in a billion-dollar dynasty. About a carefully curated image colliding with a truth that refuses to stay buried. And make no mistake, the industry is rattled. Diddy's empire already lies in ruins, his legacy dismantled in real time. If Jay-Z falls under the same moral spotlight, hip-hop faces a reckoning bigger than chart numbers or streaming deals. It becomes a cultural purge. Meanwhile, Rymir stands at the center of it all. Not a superstar. Not a mogul. Just a man who's been fighting the same fight for over a decade. A fight that started with his mother's voice and now echoes across the world. He isn't demanding millions, he isn't staging a circus. He's still asking for one thing: the truth. And here's where it all converges. July 18th isn't just a deadline, it's a test of credibility, character, and control. If Jay-Z complies, the world gets answers. If he refuses, the silence itself becomes the loudest confession. For Beyoncé, it could mean rewriting her entire narrative. For Jay-Z, it could mean the collapse of an empire. For Rymir, it could finally mean closure. But one thing is certain, the clock is ticking, and this time, there's nowhere left to hide. This isn't tabloid fodder anymore. It's a cultural earthquake, and this time, Beyoncé won't be protecting anyone but herself. Jay-Z's silence grows heavier by the day. At first, it looked like strategy. Now, it feels like an answer. Every moment he avoids that test, public opinion tilts further away. Even his most loyal defenders are going quiet. Because there's only so long you can play defense when the questions grow louder than the legacy itself. And if that test happens, and it finally looks like it might, the result will define far more than paternity. It will define a reputation, a legacy, a family. For a man who built his identity on truth, hustle, and resilience, the irony is brutal. Because the world isn't watching Jay-Z the mogul anymore. They're watching Sean Carter, the man. Meanwhile, Rymir is still here. Still waiting. Still holding on to his mother's final words. For him, this was never about tearing someone down. It was about being seen, being heard, and maybe, just maybe, being accepted. Because sometimes the truth isn't about winning. Sometimes it's just about acknowledgement. And right now, that truth is becoming harder and harder to ignore.